Well, here I am again. Okay, so the story with the original first season 6 episode. I still haven't decided what to do with it. I mean, I really don't want to just have it sit forever on a hard drive and never have anything happen with it because I worked hard on that piece of shit. But on the other hand, you had to go and die! I hate it when people do that. Why can't I just be like Ty Lopez and not care what people think? That's not Ty Lopez. Okay, well, alright, that's better. The point is, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with it. I'm definitely, if I put it out, going to have a disclaimer at the beginning. Or possibly at the end, I don't know. As it stands right now, though, it's sort of like a lost episode of Feeding the Trolls. Maybe I'll find a fan that I really, really trust and I'll leak it to them, and then years from now, it can be put online for anybody who cares. But enough about that. This is Season 6! That should have been out fucking weeks ago. I'm sorry. God damn it! Season 6! Time to feed the trolls. Season 6. I really hope that I'm not all blurry. So, since I can't do Gorilla 199, let's do this guy, whose name I will spell out here because I cannot pronounce it. And if I tried to pronounce it, then I'd be culturally appropriating a mispronunciation of some language, and I don't want to be accused of that.
Now,
Yeah, let's do this.
let's talk about rape culture.
I should really be drinking vodka or something.
Now, this is where it gets deep.
There we go. I just realized I was too bright in the image.
Aquaba, y'all.
All right.
So,
Yes. So,
a lot of people always ask me, Gazi, what do you think about interracial relationships and all these kinds of things and da-da-da?
da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Let's talk about black rape culture.
You know what I really liked about doing Gorilla 199? He was just so out there. It was fun. It was so fun it's always fun to do crazy people.
Okay. I'm an African internationalist, so I see the world as understanding that this entire world around me is built off of colonialism and parasitic capitalism in the form of white power.
Well, you're right about the colonialism, and I'd say to a certain extent you're right about the parasitic capitalism, although I personally would argue that it's not really parasitic capitalism so much as it is just a bunch of greedy people that all tend to think the same way. As far as it being the fault of white people, I'd really say it's probably more due to just European dominance during the 1400s through to the 1900s. You have one area of the world that kind of gets the benefit of being able to have these trade routes connecting it, just coming off the Renaissance, so you've got a whole lot of different new schools of learning and a very militaristic culture. I mean, these countries in Europe were fighting amongst each other forever. So you've got all this technology and a lot of warring states and an ability to go out and colonize. So it was really just the right moment with the right circumstances that allowed Europe to basically dominate the world for 300, 400 years. Well, probably more like 500 years. It wasn't really till the midpoint in the 20th century where you saw non-European powers rise up. But that's just my opinion. I'm not really as educated on the subject as a lot of people that I know.
Right? And we're about to go there.
Oh, man. Here we go.
Tag your interracial friends. Tag your friends that are dating white people. Okay, so I'm an African internationalist, meaning that I'm a materialist.
You're a materialist. That is what he said. Materialist. Okay? I'm not sure what that has to do with anything.
And I understand that this entire base of our reality is built off of colonialism.
The entire base of our reality is built off of colonialism. Okay, by reality, what do you mean? Are you talking about our geopolitical reality or our actual physical existence? Because I don't think the colonial period really dictates how you experience matter.
The attack on Africa, right? Okay. In prison, with that being said, in prison, if a correctional officer and a prisoner, have sexual relationships.
Isn't that the plot of a TV show? Or isn't it that? I don't know. I've not seen this show. Wasn't there a show on FX that was like that?
They're not supposed to. A correctional officer is not supposed to have a sexual relationship with a prisoner.
Correct. That's not supposed to happen.
Now, if a correctional officer and a prisoner have sex, the correctional officer will be charged with rape.
I don't think that's necessarily true, but I'm not an expert on U.S. Penal Code, so I'll just sort of allow it.
Even if the prisoner says it was consensual, yeah.
The act was consensually sexual. Say that 10 times fast, I dare you.
Because the prisoner cannot say it was consensual because there's a different power structure. There is an unequal power structure. There is the correctional officer, the prison guard, who's up here, and the prisoner who is down here, right?
I get the logic of what you're saying in this circumstance, but I have to ask you a question. A serious one. Why is your video vertical? Seriously, why is your video vertical? Is there some reason why you don't like widescreen?
So the prisoner cannot actually say if they really are in love with the correctional officer because the prisoner is underneath the power structure of the prison guard.
This is really bothering me because I genuinely don't know if what he's saying is right. You know what? I'm going to give a call to someone I know who used to work in corrections. Maybe they'll be able to help me. Hold on.
So the prisoner can't even trust them.
I can't find my fucking phone!
Themselves and saying that they love.
No, stop the episode. I have to find my fucking phone. It's my only phone. I need that phone. I gotta find my phone. Hold on.
The prison guard because they're not.
I said hold on. I gotta find my phone. We'll get back to you. I gotta find my phone, alright? Hold on. Damn it. God damn it. Okay, alright. Alright, I found it. It was underneath my laptop. Always fucking put it there. I don't know why. I'm gonna call up this guy, and we're gonna ask him. It's not there.
Not in equal terms of an equal relationship to equally see each other and equally fall in love with each other. Are you following me?
I guess it'd be nice to know. I mean, every time I Google it, I just get, like, news stories of guards raping people. I can't find the actual rule. Now, I don't know if that means I just suck at Googling things.
Now, I want to talk about consensual.
Consensual, sexual, interracial couples. Say that 10 times fast.
Thank you. I want to talk about interracial relationships when it comes to an African and a white person. Okay? Here we go, bitch. Here we go!
Ah! He's jumping around! Ah! Ah! Ha ha! Ha ha! Ha ha! Oh! Ah! 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 Hooray for concrete floors! Ah!
Here we go. We understand that we live in a world that is built off of white power, and that white people are up here with this power. African people are oppressed every day by this power. African people speak you cannot say that you love your white partner because you are not on equal playing fields.
What you're saying here is that all black people in an interracial relationship that's consensually sexual basically have Stockholm Syndrome. That they literally can't tell whether or not they love somebody of the opposite race, specifically white people, by using the example of the prisoner and the prison guard. I'm not sure these two examples really work well with each other.
Would you speak English if it wasn't for the oppression of your white partner?
That really depends on where you are. If the interracial couple is in Germany, then no, they're not going to speak English. Probably not going to speak English anyway. Europeans tend to be bilingual by necessity. In a similar fashion, I mean, if they're in France, they're probably going to speak French. In Spain, they're probably going to speak Spanish. In Russia, they're probably going to speak Russian. It's really more of a geographic thing than it is a power structure thing.
Would you think the way if it wasn't for you going through the school system of your white partner?
Again, it really depends on what country they're in. If they live in the Netherlands, they would have gone through a school system that is far superior to anything you're going to encounter in the States.
African people live in a society that tells them every day that white people are smart, white people are beautiful, white people are powerful, white people are superior.
I'm not really sure about that. Now, certainly this was probably the case during the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and into the 80s. But I'd say that within the last 30 years, in terms of pop culture, we've seen a shift to an all-inclusive aspect of who we consider beautiful and who we consider intelligent. Certainly, if you look at movies of today, you can see examples of many different ethnicities and sexes being portrayed as the hero. Is it perfect? No, but I'm not sure that argument can be made in terms of the pop culture of at least the United States. Now, of course, I'm talking about pop culture, not shock news. Those are two very different things.
Every day that is told to us through advertisements, through books, through the school system, through entertainment, through media, through music, through every instance of our life.
I'm going to disagree with you on every single thing except the educational system and kind of books. Because, I don't know, I haven't seen any... It's always white people. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it... Am I wrong about this? I don't watch a lot of these book-based movies, so... I mean, I read a lot of books, but they tend to be older sci-fi, so I'm not really in touch with...
Through the judicial system, through the employment system, it is telling us that white people are great, white people are powerful.
Yeah, in general, employment in America and the American judicial system do have their problems, but I'm not really seeing how that would instill a culture-wide Stockholm Syndrome to where you can't tell whether or not you're in love with someone if they're white.
So when you have little African boys who are 12 years old, who are 13 years old saying that they want to be with a white girl, it's probably because
they don't see a problem with it, and they're right.
They saw Frozen. It's probably because they see all these Disney movies with these beautiful white princesses.
Who gives a shit? They're Disney princesses. They're not real. They're based often on real people, but they're not real. Actually, let me scratch that. I think only Pocahontas is based, but they're not real. The closest any of them get to actually looking like a real person is this. So who cares?
Because they see these cartoons with these beautiful white girls. Because they play a video game of Mario chasing and trying to save a white blonde girl.
Hey, hang on. That's Nintendo.
So, then also, this white person has resources over the African.
Again, in a world without a middle class, it's highly improbable that either one of them would have any power at all.
So the African becomes dependent on this white person. Even if the African, let's say, is a basketball player and the white girl is some waitress.
A waitress versus a basketball player. You're talking an entirely different strata of economic society versus someone who wouldn't even be close to that. I mean, I don't really, in that example, I'm giving points to the basketball player. I mean, unless the basketball player does some heinous shit to her. Or she says that and it gets picked up by the news media, but, like, really? I don't think that's the best example.
The white girl has access to the police force, access to the state, access to employment, access to spaces of society where she is deemed dominant. And when this African man is with this white girl, white society looks at him like, oh, he's a tame nigga because he has a white woman.
No, they're gonna look at him like, wow, there's a basketball player. Who's that with him?
So there's benefits of being with a white woman, even if she's poorer than the African man.
Why is the sign behind you written backwards? I mean, anybody else, like, did you flip the video? Or is the sign made backwards? No, everything else looks like it's going the right way, so what's with that sign?
If they are pulled over and the police officer sees, oh, this is an African girl, but she has a white husband, you know, sitting right there, she's good, she's good. So, I wanted to say all of that to say, the power structure is completely different right now when it comes to living in the colonialism. White people are up here, African people are down here. You can't even say you love a white person.
Yes, you can. If anything, a racist power structure would actually discourage interracial relationships, as it did in the past. It didn't encourage it at all. And both sides took really extreme risks to be together. And you're gonna say they couldn't tell? I think they could tell. I think if you're prepared to have a relationship like that in a society that might even kill you if they find out about it, if you're prepared to do that with another person, you probably are pretty damn sure you're in love.
You can't say you love your white husband or white wife. You can't say you love your white girlfriend or white boyfriend, because you're not in you don't live in an equal world. You don't have an equal relationship. You live in a world that tells you every day that white people are superior.
No, it doesn't. Maybe in the 50s and the 60s it did, but it doesn't anymore. No matter what this group of chuckle fucks say.
You live in a world that tells you every day that you as an African ain't shit. So I'm sorry to tell you, when it comes to African internationalism, when it comes to the way I see interracial relationships,
when it comes to your distorted, hyper-reactionary worldview, yes, go on.
When it comes to an African and a white person being together, it's rape.
And I am done. You have no fucking idea what you're talking about. You're really going to equate this with fucking rape. With rape. Fuck you. I'm sorry your view of the world is so messed up that that's what you see. Honestly, that must be a really sad existence. But two people that love each other, and one of them's black, and one of them's white, that's not fucking rape. Someone forcing themselves sexually on another person without that person's consent is rape. But in present day America, and in the past with couples like this, especially in the past where they were risking their fucking lives to be together, no, that's not rape. And I'm so sorry your world is so fucking small that you can't tell the difference. Your opinion is no different than his opinion, by the way. I have heard white nationalists say the same fucking thing. People like you and people like them stand in the way of actual progress with your ignorant mode of thinking. I can't believe I fucking gave up on Gorilla 199. That was a fun video. This was just boring coupled with infuriating. Anyway, this is Get Fuzzy Weasel. If you like this video, like in the comments, just comment in the likes, comment in the comments below that you liked it and liked the video, and watch more of them. And as always, have a good day, no matter who you're with. It's like I burned a magic pizza.